Hey, welcome back to Divorce Real Talk, where we cut through the noise, the drama, and the bad advice that can cost you credibly, and sometimes can cost you your kids as well. I'm Mateo, here with my co-host, my man Gio, and today we're going to dive into Chapter 5 of Your Divorce Playbook, Social Media University of Psychology. This one I love. Because look, divorce doesn't just happen in the courtrooms anymore. It happens in the comment sections, the DMs, the stories, the private groups, and anonymous posts that aren't anonymous at all. So here's what you're going to hear about this today is that, look, every post is a breadcrumb, and breadcrumbs become patterns, and patterns become evidence. So I want to frame today's conversation with a lens that most people don't consider. And this is in investigations, because as you guys know, I come from the investigation world. And look, I spent 30 years before getting into surveillance. The first thing we do is pre-surveillance social media searches, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Reddit, comments, likes, emojis, all that stuff. Okay. And you would be shocked how people build a case against themselves. It's unfreaking believable. So, look, I'll introduce you to my man Gio here, and we want to get your thoughts on this, and we'll run through this chapter. But, brother, how you doing, man?
Man, this is one of my favorite chapters. I'm so pumped to talk about it. You speak about coming from the investigations world. I've worked for insurance companies in the past in the disability department, right? And I'm always going to remember this one. This guy was on disability for his back. And all of a sudden he calls in screaming. He's like, "Where's my check?" And da-da-da-da. I'm like, "All right, sir, like, let me take a look. Let's see what's going on here, right?" I go, that blue hammer that you used to build your deck last week, how's it working for you? Because what do you mean? Well, I'm staring at a picture from a private investigator showing you with a hammer doing your deck. I'm like, it's phenomenal to know that you could do that with a back injury. Line goes silent. But that's in the investigation world, disability. In divorce, I don't know what it is with people thinking that social media, chat GPT gives them like a university degree on how to handle their divorce or to get opinions. And you see it everywhere. You see it on Reddit, you see it on Facebook, on Instagram. You have these groups where people are giving each other advice and opinions, and you know what, maybe 3% of it is good. 3%. There's some garbage on there. Like, I stopped participating in them because there's so much garbage. I'm not going to go up against the machine to stop people.
Oh yeah, yeah. You're totally accurate there. I mean, why do you think people have like such an urge, man, a strong urge to post during divorce, even when they know this is going to hurt them? Like they have to know, don't they?
Validation. Validation. We live in such a fake society, Mateo, where we don't have those honest conversations anymore. And we have such an urge to be right. We have such an urge to be understood that we'll take to social media to find other people who are hurt like us that are going to tell us, yes, you're right, you deserve to be doing this, you're making the right move because, and there's nothing that is based in law. It's all in opinion. And we've heard it working with law firms. I deserve this. But does the law agree with you? And the other person might be the most awful person in the world, but it's not up to you to broadcast it.
Yeah, that's the key there. It's not up to you to broadcast it. You're 100% right. I mean, From your experience, though, what are the most like common mistakes that you see people making during this process, during these posts and all? What's the most common mistakes
The most common mistakes are they post about their actual situation.
in real time,
They're
right?
putting it out there, you know. Oh, Mateo kept the kids this weekend. Blah, 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 blah. Why does the person who's been on your Facebook for 22 years that you've had 3 conversations with deserve to know that? What are you seeking other than pouring your heart out? That's what a therapist is for. That's what your best friend is for. It's not for Facebook. We spoke about it in a recent show, like the 3 levels, right? Facebook and social media is not a trusted place where you can go share what's going on. So for me, the number one is those who actually post about it. The second one is the sharing the posts um, about, you know, narcissism or narcissistic tendencies, or, you know, like all of these veiled messages that we know you're posting about your ex, right? You know, the all woe is me garbage. And it it shows who you are. It shows who you are when you don't think anybody's looking.
It builds your character. And even though you see a lot of people that posting stuff and have this different life online than that person in real life. But you're doing that. It's almost the opposite when you're doing that in a negative way, because most people pause up, I post up. Sorry, meaning that they'll post stuff to make their life look better. But when you're there complaining and just letting out all your grievances, it actually hits harder. That's more you than the posting up.
Yeah,
So
but then you
um,
have the ones who think they're smart, right? And we see this all the time, right? We see the ones that are filled with venom. They think they're reinventing the wheel. They think that, oh, I'm gonna do something that no one else has done. I'm gonna post anonymously. I know of one particular case where a divorce lawyer who's very, 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 like, I'm active on Reddit. This attorney, he's even more active on Reddit. Starts going through, these different subreddits and sees these anonymous posts.
mhm.
He goes, hold on a second. This sounds like what one of my clients are going through. Digs deeper. It is what his client is going through. And the ex is posting and posting, and everything's anonymous. There's enough anonymous posts to be able to pinpoint, and it was used against them in court.
Oh, yeah, it's clear as day. I mean, when judges, attorneys, they're paying more and more attention to the behavior, to the online behavior, and that's going to actually put power back to the other side. You're actually giving the other side more power when you're doing that.
Yeah, and then what happens is that it increases their victimization, right? Now it's like, oh no, but like I'm going through such a hard time. Okay, but stop posting online. I always say it, and listen, this goes down to my personal text messages. I act life. I act in life thinking that somebody is reading everything that I text, everything that I post, everything that I. You text about, hey, Mattel, like I want to go to Cancun on vacation, and all of a sudden on our algorithms, what happens, right? You start seeing stuff for trips to Cancun. It's the same thing when you're posting on social media. If you're posting about your divorce, you have to figure that somebody is seeing it. And it could be used against you. What are you doing? Be quiet on social media. And then people go, no, but I cleaned up my social media. You don't know who's reporting back. You don't know who's reporting back. You don't know who the true rides or dies are.
Mm-hmm.
So do you need to be broadcasting this stuff? No, you don't. Stay
And,
quiet.
and,
So
and
social media, the university psychology, it's people see it as a safe space, but it's not.
you're right. And like you said before, it is about that validation. Um, people think, hey, there's other people like me, and they're getting some advice and they're going back and forth. But that stuff, like you said, even if you cleaned up your social media, that stuff is not only time stamped, it's saved, it's used against you. So don't think just because you're removing stuff, it's building it's building a case. You're building your own case in the most negative way possible. Um, what does what would you say the silence by being silent? What's the benefit there by not engaging on social media or posting anything? What is that what message does that relay to the other side, or does it?
Silence is power. Silence is power. Mateo, I don't have anything to prove to anybody. I don't.
Mhm.
I don't. I've got my circle, right? The truth to the matter is, regardless of what's going on in my life, there's you, my niece Catherine, my best friend Mark, and Alex. You four are the ones that know what's going on in my life. I don't have to justify anybody. I don't have to justify myself to anybody. I don't. This is what my life is. This is, you guys know. And as long as you guys know and are in my corner, I'm good. Why do I have to justify myself to somebody I went to high school with that's on my Facebook?
Mhm.
I haven't
Were you
seen you
always
in
like
20 years.
Were you always like this, or was this something that
Oh
you
no,
learned through making
I
mistakes?
listen, my second marriage, we were like this power couple, social media influencers. Like, honestly, the only thing that was missing was telling you guys what color my underwear was and how many times a day I was farting. Like that's how,
Oh, you
like
were one of
that.
those, were you?
We
Okay.
were posting 17 times a day. Life is great. And you know what? Life was fantastic until it wasn't. And then what happened? I went from one day posting 17 times a day till the next day you wake up and you take a look at my social medias and everything of her is scrubbed clean. Because it was over. So I needed to remove those memories. But I used to be that one that used to post all the time. And the only thing it did was invite the vultures in to get information.
Yeah.
We live in a society where, it's funny. I go to a restaurant and the service is on point. The food is phenomenal. I get the bill at the end. I look at the waiter. I go, "Can I talk to your manager?" And the waiter is, "What did I do wrong? Like I thought you would go get the manager." No, but like, is there something that I go get the manager? Manager comes over. You can see the scared employee in the background. I just like to say that tonight was one of the best nights of service that I've ever received. The food was on point. The energy was amazing. This, and they go like this. Why? Because we are so fast to criticize and bring the negative that we rarely bring the positive anymore.
Right. In real time, live. We do go and obviously post online, but it's rare. Yeah, it's rare. So that's amazing that you did that. And it's funny how they, you could see their you could see their attitude. They coming in thinking
Yeah.
that you're going to be complaining.
Exactly, but this is what society. So so there's a couple of things. First of all, this everything that we've talked about so far is the posting, right? Like
Mhm.
you post things, and then it can end up being used against you. And let's be clear, Mateo. One of the things that I do in my divorce coaching is before you block them, screenshot everything.
Mhm.
I don't say it to be like, you know what, Mateo, you're going through a divorce, screenshot everything because we're going to nail that to the wall. No. Let's show patterns. Once we have enough, block them.
Mhm.
But let's show patterns because it's going to be useful in court.
Ugh. Getting back to my surveillance days real quick. Look, before we went out on surveillance, before we, got in our vans and camera equipment and stuff, we would do our social media searches. And honestly, half the time, we almost didn't even need to do surveillance. We had so much. We knew where they were, who they were with, how they felt, what they were angry about, and what they thought about their ex and what they thought about certain people and situations. It's all public information that we're gathered. It's all time stamped and we save it. So we're actually build that thing. So it's like you said, it's so important for you to, on the one end, screenshot everything and then be silent. Get out, block them,
Yeah.
do whatever you have to do.
And now here's the other aspect, right? Again, we spoke about the posting and everything. What freaks me out the most is people who go online to seek opinion, recommendations, information from unqualified people. If you're going in for heart surgery, are you going to stop somebody randomly on the street and say, "Excuse me, my heart doesn't work. My doctor says that I have to replace a valve or whatever. Do you think I should go through with it?" Would you do that?
Probably not. No.
No. So here's one thing that I love about Reddit, okay? Reddit is an incredible social media. Honestly, you connect with different people on a different level and this and that. But when I see people there or in Facebook groups saying, "This is my situation, what should I do?" And then everybody starts flowing in opinions. The issue with that is while you're posting asking what to do, you're not giving the full story. The other person reading it doesn't get the full story.
Mm-hmm.
The other person is not an attorney or an expert. And then you're going to take information from them and you're going to use it and it's going to backfire. But Facebook told me it was okay.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that I faced on Reddit, I would post, content. I would do replies. And I used to have people say, "But what are your qualifications?" I'll explain it one. No, but like here we go, another post from another divorce And at one point I started answering, "You know what? I'm a divorce coach. These are my qualifications." But why aren't you attacking the 37 other people that have replied on this post that don't have any qualifications, that are just going through life? Why is it that we're attacking the guy that does this for a living and has coached hundreds of people through divorce? Him will question. But Sally, who's replying from her basement in her joggers and her hair up eating a gallon of ice cream, or Tommy from his bed in his underwear scratching his ass, those comments are okay. Like, why are we going to these strangers to gather this information? Then you have people like, "I'm in California. This is my situation." The guy from Arizona is answering, "You should do this." Yo, the laws are different.
Every state has different laws, and we know that from working with attorneys.
Now,
Every state.
what we do as divorce coaches, let's be clear. We don't give legal advice. That's one of the first things that we preach.
Correct.
So we can work in the generality when it comes to strategy. If you're in Canada, the US, France, Venezuela, Italy, Russia, whatever the rules are, you still have to figure out what you want custody wise. We can guide you on that. Emotions are emotions. We can guide you on emotions. Choosing an attorney, you still have to the generalities are there. But we don't go into specific laws of, oh, hey, you're from Knoxville, Tennessee. Um, so in your state, in your city, in your, in your county, the rules are that. No, we don't, because we don't know what it is. We're going to guide you on how to go see the expert to be able to be ready to be able to go get that expert advice.
And that's the one advantage of being part of our school community is we'll be able to give you some resources, people that you could reach out to use. And what I want to say with our school community is that is, even though that's on the side of social media, that's a closed private group. Things that are said in that group are private. And even furthermore, if there's certain more intimate things that you want to discuss, you can do that on a private message. So not necessarily with the whole group, because look, let's be clear. There could be somebody trying to infiltrate the group. Things happen. So
No, at the end of the day, if it's online, even in a school community, you
mhm.
never know, right? So you stay in generalities. But if you need something more specific, come private. And I've had, since we've started this, maybe 75 private conversations with people that, oh, well, what? So I'll just give them like 2, 3 points and get them to move on. But it's still guiding them the best we know how because we're in this industry. It's not Jingle My Balls 97 who's telling you, bye, you should be doing this, and you no, because the first thing that we do is we validate the information that's being given to us. Online, you don't validate. You're seeking validation, but you don't validate before you give advice. You never see it. But Mateo, like, is the situation really like this? Or how about this? You don't get that. Online is a killer.
Agreed with you there, my friend. I mean, look, people say, like you mentioned, oh, what makes you qualified, and what look, at the end of the day, you are most qualified to teach the man you used to be. This is an Ed Milet quote, and it's so true. The man you used to be, that's who you're most qualified to teach and to show people. You used to be that person. Now you're not. You've gone through it. So it's important that these are the people that you communicate with, the people that you confide in.
And it's exactly that. Like, I've lived it twice. I've been through an abusive relationship. So, like, there's even more experience. I've coached people. I work with family law attorneys. So I gain knowledge from them. I gain knowledge from the system and everything. And I bring that. And I'll never tell you, Mateo, you need to do this. A coach pushes you to think, pushes you to reflect, pushes you on, is this what you really want? Is this what you're willing to go for? And we guide you to figure out what your next steps are on your own. We're not there to tell you what to do.
We're there to hold you accountable. We're there to cut the bullshit. and that negative self-talk and all the crap that you're telling yourself.
Yeah. And you know, the other thing is then you start getting into the chat GPTs of the world. You know how many people are screwing up with chat GPT because chat GPT is an incredible tool. But if you are not incredibly precise with it, you know, I'm getting divorced, what should I do? It'll give you prompts. Won't tell you specific to your location, won't guide you on exactly what you need. It's gonna give you generalities, but if you use those generalities in court, you know how many people, like, the law world is so excited about AI, but they're scared of it because you don't know what it's gonna say. I had somebody about 6 months ago say, you know what, Gio, how about we start an AI component to your divorce coaching? And I said, no. Because heaven forbid that AI takes the wrong prompt, gives the wrong information. That's still my name on the line.
Mm-hmm.
There are certain things that AI will never be able to replace. It will be able to give information, but you still need to have it validated by a human.
Yeah.
The number one rule when it comes to divorce and social media is shut up. Shut up. Stop. Knock it off. You have no idea how much. And here's the thing, Mateo. Now, this is where we got to be careful. Even if you're right, shut up.
Because silence isn't weakness. Silence is leverage, my friend. And the calm person in the chaos, that person looks like the adult in the room.
Who do you have to justify yourself to on social media? Who do you have to justify yourself? I don't even, you are in my circle, Mateo, and I don't even have to justify myself to you.
Mm-hmm.
So I gotta go justify myself. Why? Because Aunt Rosie that I see once a year and pinches my cheeks and my kids are fucking afraid of her, that she needs to know what's going on. She doesn't. And we're even careful as to who we share with, because you never know. Like, and then what happens? Yeah, so you know, I was talking to Billy Bob about your situation, and Billy Bob told me to tell you that you know the legal system works like this. Well, what the hell does Billy Bob know about my situation?
Mm-hmm.
Bah, the little bit I gave them. So they're now in a position to give me advice. I get it as a divorce coach, but you know what, Gio? You know what you should do? No, and I'm not going to take the advice from you. But why not? And we get this as coaches, as entrepreneurs, as you know. I get people, oh, you know, your business, the way you run it. I'm sorry, but are you an entrepreneur? I'm sorry. Do you have your own business?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're a unionized 9 to 5 worker telling me about my business that I know takes me 80 hours a week to run. And don't get me wrong, all love and respect to unionized 9 to 5 workers. But I'm not going to come tell you how to do your job like you're not going to tell me how to do mine. But in today's society, that's what it is. It's we constantly, you know, I remember my ex-wife at one point, Antonio's mom, saying, you know, my friends gave me shit last night. And this, we're talking about like 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They say that I could be going after you even harder.
What?
I go, based on what?
Uh,
I go, because I handed you your rear end in court last week. A judge decided I was right. You want to come after me harder? Let's go, rock and roll. Now, today, there's two things. One, first, she finally apologized. It took her 12 years to apologize. This happened about 18 months ago.
Oh wow.
And second of all, she has amnesia. Remember when you I did this to you? It's kind of like the Italian parents that used to hit us with the belt
Oh
and
yeah,
the
they all
wooden
have
spoon,
amnesia. Oh
right?
yeah.
Oh no, but Zia, you remember when I was younger, you used to crack me with the wooden spoon. I did that to you? No. Okay, let's all play the amnesia game. And let's not forget a critical rule. Okay. Opinions are like rear ends. Everybody's got one. But
Mhm.
you don't have to smell everybody's fart. And do not forget that people who are not genuinely in your corner will give you an opinion. They won't care how it affects your life. They'll still go to bed as if it was nothing. We've spoken about this many, many
Mhm.
times. And this is exactly what social media is. People see a post, yeah, go after the bastard. And then they go to bed and they don't think of the impact that that comment could have.
Mhm.
They
Yeah.
don't think of that comment. I've seen online, Mateo, recommendations to go get a protective order, to slap a domestic violence charge on someone who is not violent. Now, let me get this straight. If there's anybody who is actually violent and you fear for your safety, for the love of God, do what you got to do to be safe.
Of course.
But you have to be careful what you're recommending to people because these are life altering decisions. These are life altering decisions. So before you go slap a protective order, if it's legit, go for it. But the amount of fake ones that we see.
Yeah. Never try using that for leverage because it's going to eventually backfire on you. And that's what most people, not most people, a large majority use it for leverage. They use it to get that edge. Let me do this to them. And if I do this to them, it's going to give me that leverage in the future. It's going to make things look better in court. Because look, I've put a put a restraining order against them.
You want to hear an unpopular opinion?
Sure.
I believe, okay, that someone who gets caught doing parental alienation, someone who gets caught pushing their kids up against one of the parents. I believe that anybody who takes any underhanded tactic when it comes to divorce deserves to be criminally charged.
I agree with that. That shouldn't even be unpopular. Do
But
people actually disagree with that?
you know what? The only ones that will disagree with it are the ones that'll go on social media and get opinions. Because you got to think about it. It's not just that you do something. If you recommend something,
Mhm.
do you know how many people would be arrested criminally if you go through these groups and you start paying people who start giving bad opinions, bad recommendations? We would tie up the criminal system for the next 120 years.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with the T app, which I know I've been posted on it. I'm lucky that I have Alex who said, you know what, I don't care about that crap. I'm going to get to know the man. And she fell in love with the man because she sees what I bring every day to the table.
Mhm.
But if you can't verify the story on T and you post on T, you deserve to be arrested. If you spew anything negative, you deserve to be arrested. At the end of the day, we are way too comfortable gambling with people's lives, especially gambling with the lives of people we don't know. And if you take this step on social media and making like, think about it for a second before, remember when we were young, think twice before you speak. Why
Mm-hmm.
aren't we thinking twice before we post? It was Valentine's Day. Yeah, we went on a road trip, couple of pictures. Hey, our first Valentine's Day together. That's cute. Okay, that's good. But we're not going to get into we're not going to post negativity. We're not going to recommend negativity. We're not going to get it. Like, even when we have people approach us and they're like, I need somebody, I ask, what do you need? Do you need somebody to hold your hand, or do you need somebody to guide you?
Mm-hmm. And why? Also, why is this the big question? Why do you want this? Why do you want to be guided? Tell me. What's the bigger picture here?
Exactly. So, social media, when it comes to when it comes to life in general, but when it comes to divorce, is not a psychologist, is not a divorce coach, is not a lawyer. And I'm going to end it on this. There are no two divorces that are the same.
Mm-hmm.
On any level, there are no two divorces that are the same. You've been married together for 5 years, have a kid together. Another couple has been married together for 5 years, have a kid together. It's different. It could be the location, it could be the situation, it could be the upbringing of the child, it could be the communication, it could be 150 million different things. So don't take advice from that other person. Don't take the advice from somebody who's never been involved. How many times do we hear, yeah, but my sister's hairdresser's brother got divorced last year and this is what he did. No.
And it was the exact same as yours.
It's
Exactly.
it's the exact same as no.
No, can't
No.
be.
I've never come across somebody who's lived the exact same divorce as me.
Mm-hmm.
Similarities. But can I say, hey, Mateo, I went through the exact same divorce as you? No.
No way.
So my hope in this episode is that we've created enough confusion in your head to say, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't post on social media. Maybe I should go back to the previous episode of Divorce Real Talk and learn about the different levels of the people in my entourage to decide who are my true ride or dies. And understand that ride or die might not include mom or dad.
Mm-hmm. And again, you don't have to justify yourself to anyone. I mean, the only person that I justify myself to, and this is as I'm getting older and more spiritual, is God. That's the only person that I have to justify myself to. No one else.
And you know, not now watch. You justify yourself to God, right? Doesn't have to be for anybody else. That's your pick. That's your choice. You decide to justify. To For me, I agree. I know that when my time comes, in my opinion, I have to justify myself to somebody. But even at that, I believe that there's not even a justification, because if you're a believer and he's seen everything that I've gone through, so I don't even see it as I have to justify. He's seen everything. For those of you who don't believe, or believe differently, that's fine as well. But the one thing that I'd like for all of us to have in common is to not have to justify ourselves to our Aunt Mary. Sorry to all the Marys out there. Is to justify ourselves to our Aunt Mary about what we're doing. They don't live the day to day. And look, the best example is Alex fell in love with a divorce coach. I helped her find her attorney. Who is going to come in and give her advice different than the guy who's living it every single day with her? I get
That's
my
the whole point.
opinions backed by attorneys. I have all my experience. What is it? It's going to be Uncle Bobby that's going to be like, I think you should be doing it. No, because he doesn't have the same level of knowledge as I do. So
And you're, of course, you're in her inner circle. Of
I'm the one
course.
that she comes to for tactical support. She has the lawyer to apply the law. Mom is there for emotional support, and she's a wonderful woman. I call her the best manufacturer in the world. And she's got a couple of that are there for emotional support, and she's got her team. I've got my team. Everybody else doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, folks, social media, go laugh at reels, turn your brain off, go laugh at stuff. Because at the end of the day, social media is filled with toxic poison. And the last thing you want to do is invite that poison into your divorce.
Use it for what it was intended for originally, which is to connect with people in a positive way, not to be bashing people online, to be taking advice from people that don't have any real constructive advice to give you. So
Stop allowing social media to navigate your life. And for the love of God, stop allowing social media to navigate your divorce. Because at the end of the day, if you make a mistake, anybody that you took advice from on social media is not going to care. They're going to say, well, what did I know? I'm not a lawyer. What did I know? I'm not this. What did I know? I'm not. Oh, it ended up being different? My bad. Everything that Mateo and I do comes from a place of love, and it's to help and guide you. And when we do this podcast, when we have the divorce playbook, when we have the school community, when we have the one-on-one coaching, it's all there to be able to offer anybody at any income level the opportunity to get information to get stronger throughout this journey. You want to listen? Great. You don't want to? That's fine. At the end of the day, all we hope is that you get through this journey and that you come out stronger with exactly what it is that you want. We thank you for tuning in. We thank you for giving us the opportunity to get into your head and into your heart. We're going to only continue this. We've got different shows coming up soon with guests. We have an attorney confirmed coming up soon. There's going to be all kinds of different experts coming in. So more and more just giving you that knowledge, because knowledge is power. So on behalf of Mateo, thank you for tuning in. We're excited to continue recording, to continue producing content. We hope that it's making a difference in your life. Please follow us on all socials. Share the content with anybody going through divorce. And we'll see you in the next episode.
see you in the next episode, guys.